Cad Bane and the Fetts have a long, complicated history. According to Bounty Hunter Guild records, Jango Fett actually took Bane under his wing and taught the upstart Derosian hunter some of his most important lessons about the trade. And when we look at Bane, we can see how much that Mandalorian warrior must have impressed him. After all, Cad's LL-30 blaster pistols from Blastech Industries were in the same style of Jango's dual Westar 34s, perhaps a tribute to his former mentor. According to those same records, we find that Cad Bane, in turn, was one of the bounty hunters who tutored Boba Fett when he was just starting off. After Jango failed to defeat Mace Windu in the Battle of Geonosis in Star Wars Episode II Attack of the Clones, and suffered death as a consequence, Boba was left orphaned in the midst of a new galaxy-spanning war. Even though his father had taken him along on bounty hunting missions before, Boba was still just a child and was nowhere near done with his training. On previous missions, Boba had helped his father team up with any number of bounty hunters, terrible traitors like Tivor and Rin, but there were some kind ones as well, and Boba counted Bane among them. He even complained to his father a time or two whenever they were stuck on a bounty hunt with lesser partners. Boba would often request that his father call up Cad Bane instead, seeing Cad as kind of like a uncle, so to speak, for a little bit. So it comes as quite the surprise that Cad Bane and Boba Fett once dueled each other during the fall of the Republic, let alone Boba having killed Cad Bane in the Book of Boba Fett season finale, which I don't think Cad is really dead, but I guess we'll have to fully see. Not only that, but when we look at the pair of bounty hunters, it's pretty clear that Cad Bane's expert marksmanship with his LL-30 blaster pistols caused the iconic dent in Boba's helmet. Now, it should be mentioned that all of this was part of an unaired story arc from the final season of the Clone Wars animated show. So I guess to put it simply, since it was never put out there for the public to consume, it's not really canon. But Dave Filoni and the folks behind the show revealed an unfinished version of the duel back in 2017. And I gotta say, there is a dent in Boba's helmet, and there is a metal plate on Cad's head now. So without any convincing backstory for Boba's dented helmet, I think it's quite safe to say that this footage is kind of canon, can we say that? At least for the time being. In the footage, Boba Fett and Cad Bane stand on opposite sides of a circular courtyard. Boba was joined by two fellow bounty hunters, a Trandoshan, Bossk, who he'd eventually blow up during the hunt for Han Solo, but don't worry, he grows his legs back, and Embo, a bounty hunter who once convincingly took on Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars. As Boba and Bane stood anxiously across from each other, they slowly wiggled their fingers closer and closer to their holders, Western style. If Boba withdrew his weapons quick enough, he'd take down Cad Bane, the greatest bounty hunter in the galaxy, after Jango's death, reclaiming the title in honor of his father, who bore it before him. And if Bane won, well, he would have killed yet another clone. With the seconds anxiously passing by, Bane and Boba simultaneously withdrew their blasters and fired a volley of red blaster fire. Bane's aim was true, and he struck Boba squarely in his helmet, leaving the iconic round indentation that the Mandalorian warrior chose to never repair. But Boba's shot stuck as well. He downed Cad Bane, sending the bounty hunter flying flat on his back. Since Boba was so young, and since his Beskar armor guaranteed his survival, I'd be willing to claim this as an outright victory for Jango's son. After all, unlike Boba, it's unlikely that Bane would have been easily able to walk off the wounds from Fett's Sarkos K-11 blaster pistols or the Westar 34 if he was using his father's sidearms in the battle, which is something I was really hoping we could see in the Book of Boba Fett. While this duel certainly answers the question of who would win, Bane or Fett, which kind of ended in a draw, it actually opens up a brand new plot hole. Why could Cad Bane's standard issue Blastech pistol put a golf ball sized dent in Beskar armor? The Mandalorian steel is famous for its ability to endure punishment and even withstood repeated bludgeoning from Dark Troopers. And of course, that scene where Din couldn't be eaten by a Rancor. So what do you guys think? My predictions and theory is that we're going to see that scene in canon in some sort of a spin-off series from the Clone Wars. I don't think they're fully done with animated shows. Beyond the Bad Batch Season 2, I think we could fully get something with Cad Bane and Boba, and of course, my all-time favorite comic series, which I hope they turn into a Clone Wars animated adaptation, Son of Dathomir, with Darth Maul, General Grievous, Count Dooku, and Palpatine. And of course, the Mauldalorians. Picking up where we left off, where Palpatine defeated Maul and killed Savage Opress. I hope we'll see this unreleased scene of Boba Fett and Cad Bane in The Bad Batch Season 2. I think there's still a lot of time for them to implement these different scenes that we never got somewhere in the canon of Star Wars in future shows and possible movies. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you, always.